Hi guys, welcome to my channel for a new battle report. This time I'm facing Dwarven, and I was really curious because when you see the list, you're going to understand that he has a quite interesting list with a very good close combat force, especially against my list with the multiple wound, the Dragon Seeker, multiple wound King, an engineer with the multiple wound Slayer Rocket, and then very MSU oriented with 5 units of 10 guys, 2 units of shooters within core, and then 2 steam bomber as a piece of chaff or shooting unit. 3 war machines, 1 organ gun run crafted, of course, cannon, and a dwarf ballista run crafted, and then in special 2 units of 15 Queen's Guard, and 15 seekers, and then a unit of miners. So really interesting because he's quite solid in combat with 2 characters which are quite problematic for me to deal with. Better shooting, better range damage that what I can do probably, because he shoots really well with the engineer, and all the marksmen and so on can be quite nasty against my army. So I'm really curious to see how is my resilience against this kind of army. How can I deal with such an army before close combat and use my mobility to my advantage, because that's basically my huge advantage in this matchup. We played Refuse Flank and Flags. Spell selection, decided to try the Hereditary spell as a combat debuff, then the +2 armor save, always useful. Quicksilver Lash might be interesting against the Bomber and the Kingsguard. Silver Spike, always useful. And then Pyro, I went with Fireball and Pyroclastic Flow. Useful to deal either with War Machine and or for Seekers as well. So yeah, scary list with probably superior range damage and close combat damage as well with Double Lord. I need to play with cover, and I need as well to deal with the organ gun as soon as possible, because then you can really enter into this 30-inch zone without fearing too much. A very good roll from the opponent. I think I have the tool to deal with the Seeker from distance, because of fire and all the shooting I have in core. Should be able to do a lot of damage and avoid them seeing any combat at all. We'll see. Therefore, I need also to reserve my chaff units for the King, because it might be much harder to kill from distance with the amount of health point and the good armor save. Lots of shots in his list. This means, as again, the BSB needs to be in the anointed boss for this game, because it would be too scary to let him go alone. And I'm feeling quite confident for the scenario. Again, a very positive scenario for me in this second game, because there's a lot of small scoring, so killing a few flags shouldn't be too difficult. And then mine are much more difficult to take, so I should be fine for the secondary objective. Okay, let's talk a bit about deployment. So my opponent was the one who held the roll for side, so he decided to cut the board as so to be able to use the hill for himself, but then at the same time he gave me the ruin and the forest in the middle, plus possibility to use then later the impassable. So I was quite happy with this part of the board, to be honest. And then we exchanged a couple of drops. So I put first the light cavalry, then vassal slave, couple of blunderbuss maybe, then an anointed unit. And he put, when I saw the Seeker, I think he started with the Vanguard guys here, double bomber, and then maybe 1 unit here, and then the Seeker. When I saw that, I thought, okay, he's going to focus probably around the hill. It would be very surprising that he comes from below, because it would take really too much time to reach me if I deploy quite from the top. So I will use the famous the famous big triangle, so that we can say if you have the diagonal, there's always one part of your deployment that can be quite heavy against less space for your opponent, and then the same is valid from the other part of the board, because it would cut here. Then my opponent would be able to put to be heavily here, and then I would have less space to put my unit. And since I have heavy big footprint, I will not be able to profit that much from the fact that I can overload the part of the board with a lot of close combat unit. But still, I decided to focus all my anointed on top, So this unit was put quite early, and then I put the BSB's unit within the rune again. The slave here, the 2 gigantic unit will be close to the forest to be able to reach the forest and gain soft cover against all war machines. And then I put the vassal bus on the back of my deployment, so I will need to march a bit after seeing the counter deployment of my opponent, which is quite oriented on the top of the map. And then on the back you have Blunderbuss, who should be able to deal with the Seeker later on. So his deployment, he put some marksman here with the engineer, Seeker here, Kingsguard, a Longbeard with the King, first Copter, the Vanguarding unit in core, Warrior, a second unit of Greybeard, the Cannon, the Ballista, and the second Chaff piece. So yeah, bit surprised by the positioning of the cannon, because he will be obscured by the forest until more or less the half of my deployment. So I should be fine with not giving him the +1 to hit against gigantic. I think that it would have been much better to put the cannon maybe here to be able also to profit from the engineer, because he's really far away from the engineer, as only the organ gun on the hill who can profit from engineer. But I would have seen real cannon here in the middle to have very good line of sight on the whole board. And Ballista, I put it within the forest to not suffer too much from forest, but still a bit too far on the right, I guess. When you see my deployment, would have been much better maybe on this part of the forest to be able to either shot here on the right or here on the left. So I think there would have been a better option for this couple of units. So yeah, since I dropped, I was able to start the game. So let's go, my turn 1. Basically, I want to deny him some good shot with organ gun, so I turn around because I was not able to go out of 30 with moving back 3.5. So I turn around, move 7, move a bit forward with the BSB's unit because I'm within the ruin, so I'm feeling safe. And then I pause my gigantic unit within soft cover of organ gun, because if he draw line of sight, he will not be able to see more than half of my base. So soft cover, no +1 from cannon, and then Ballista, I couldn't do anything for Cannon Titan, but still the tank is within soft cover for everybody. So quite interesting for me. Yeah, and then I reform my unit of vassals to just move forward 4. And what else? Move a bit forward the blunderbuss to shoot at the vanguarding unit. Yeah, they're a bit sacrificial unit for all my blunderbuss shot. So I don't know why exactly decided to vanguard them here. I would have maybe gone around the flank or do something a bit different with them. I think it's not always, in this case, not very interesting to put them centrally and then vanguard. It's often much better maybe on the flank. So yeah. That's it, and I just put my light cavalry behind the big boss to gain hard cover against a possible shot, and then just put my small vassal within 36 of the organ gun, but outside 30 to not get shot. You never know. In the magic phase, I cast a Quicksilver Rush against the King's Guard, kill 2 of them, fail the fireball, and then with shooting I'm able to kill 4 ranges, I guess, totally. I shot also with the tank with engineer within short range, and then I was able to kill, yeah, I guess only 1 more, and then +1 King's Guard with the cluster munition. So not too bad for this first one. His turn 1, he decided to charge 7 on 2 dice against the orcs. I was feeling okay. He has only 6 guys left. He has strength 4 on the first round of combat, then strength 3. I have a lot of bodies. I have battle focus, bad weapon. I should be fine on the long run. He would stick me in place, but I don't need the orcs right now, so I decided to stay, but he failed to charge. And then he moves slightly forward with the Seekers and the Kingsward, put the general back in the King's Guard unit, and then yeah, moves a bit around. In the shooting phase, he put 3 wounds to my Cadim Titan. Yeah, I forgot a bit about them. He has a Wyrmslayer rocket, which is quite nasty, so did a couple of wounds on the Titan. Maybe I could have had a better spot with majority in the forest in the front against them. That's the only thing that I didn't pay too much attention about it, and this caused me a couple of wounds. So I guess I took maybe 1 wound from Ballista and 2 from Wyrmslayer rocket, something like that. Didn't hit with the cannon, so at least that. My turn 2. No charges, movement. I move with the Cadim Titan behind the Impassable. The idea is to, with this position, I'm giving hard cover to the organ gun. outcover to the Rim Slayer unit, no line of sight for cannon, outcover for ballista, which is not bad. Move the tank within the forest to be able to shoot at different things, but still out of charge range. The same for the Kings, so no charge possible for these two units. I still stay like that, just move slightly back to cover for the minus. As long as there is the organ gun, I will not move within 30. Just turn around the light cav to be able to cast 2d6 against the Seekers. And also, yeah, I guess no line of sight with the fireball. And yeah, that was it. Turn around the blunderbuss, gave battle focus to them to shoot in short range against them with a couple of models, and then the rest long range. But still 24 shots should do probably enough to kill them, I hope so. Magic, try Quicksilver Lash but fail, cast a Silver Spike. I had a nice line of sight here with Engineer onto the organ gun and with the tank as well, so really nice. Able to 3 wounds with Silver Spike, then I cast a Fireball onto the Seeker, kill 3 of them, and then with the tank I'm able to kill the organ gun, and that was really nice. And also then with Blunderbuss I'm able to delete this vanguarding unit, so really happy about this second round. No more organ gun, kill a couple of Seeker, deleted the vanguarding unit who can stick the orcs in place, so not bad. His turn 2. Decided to move forward but carefully, not going too much forward because this might be dangerous for him. The amount of shooting and chaff that I have left would be a bit dangerous for him, so actually the game is already really complicated with the loss of the organ gun and first scoring unit. The minus come on the board, but this is quite suicidal. If you see the amount of shot I have in this part of the board, this is really scary for him, so I'm feeling quite confident to delete them quite easily. Shooting did really nothing, he wasn't able to hit, and here you see the engineer is really far away from the cannon, so that's a problem with the positioning of the cannon. And yeah, he did nothing, he tried to shoot at my tank, but didn't hit as well with the ballista, so yeah. Good for me. My turn 3. Yeah, this time I turn around, the 3 anointed move forward. I move a bit around my guys to be able to shoot, to shoot at the minus, turn them around, everybody will be able to shoot at the minus. They are still looking forward and move in the forest to shoot at the Seekers. This guy can also shoot either Seeker or Kingsguard. And then I turn around him, yeah, to be able to cast spell at the Seeker again. Kalim Titan stays where he is. I like this amount of hard cover and no line of sight. I could have already angled him a bit more to the right because the organ gun is not here anymore. So I could have changed a bit the position. But I guess I'm getting used to forgetting moving my Kalim Titan. So in Magic, I'm casting 2d6 strength 4 on the Seekers, kill 3 of them. And then I kill 1 Kingsguard with the tank, 2 Greybeard with the cluster munition, and then with all the shooting from them I was able to delete the minus, so really happy. It's another scoring in the pocket. His turn 3, this time he says enough is enough, I move forward and let's see what happens. I point him out that he should be careful about Kalim Titan because he had first his Lord here, so if I charge on the flank with no contact from the Lord, could be scary for him. But so he put the Lord on the side, which is much better, I guess, and move forward with the Kingsguard as well. But not really checking that I can move out of line of sight, which might be a problem for him. Moves a bit forward with them, and yeah, that's it. In shooting, he's able to put 2 wounds to the tank, and let's move on to my turn 3. My turn 4, sorry. Yeah, just check that I'm able to pass around. Unfortunately, I failed my 9 reroll, able to give Strider to the anointed boss, so I have to take DTs, but I'm able to march, even with my big footprint and my march range only from 12, I'm able to go around, which is huge, so I'm able to go, not charge. I could have charged, but it's still a bit risky to get in a challenge with the BSB against the king who makes multiple wounds. You never know, I might just lost stupidly my BSB, and I'm really feeling confident at the moment. I've taken scoring away, I should be able to deal with the Seekers, so I should be able to win heavily without taking any risk, so why take risk? And then the two remaining guys, because I lost one from shooting last round, charged the copter and made it with a 8 Swift Strike. So quite happy. Here on of the Seeker side, I put everybody within range to shoot at them, put the tank within short range, and then march away with the big block to be everybody's out of charge range, charge arc of the Seeker. They can charge the Orc, but they can always flee. So I'm feeling okay. This time I turn around slightly my Kalim Titan to still give hard cover to everybody, but be able to have some charge possibilities of charges. In Magic, cast a Quicksilver Ash, kill 2 of the Kingsguard. D6 strength 4, kill 3 Seekers, and then 2d6 strength 4, it dispels it, and then with all my blunderbuss shots I was able to kill the rest of the Seekers, and the tank finished the Lord Seeker. So really happy about that. Short range helped immensely. I put 2 wounds and then did the amount of wounds needed to kill him. So I dealt with the Seeker, quite happy. Here in close combat with 8 attacks, strength 5, plus 2 impact strength 5. I was only able to do 2 wounds and he stick. So I just reformed this side to not get countercharged in the flank, but not too bad. I guess I will not get shot. So that's at least something. Yeah, and then the remaining turn, more or less, what happened? I moved the king out to scare a bit my units, then I just gave a chaff, moved my BSB behind the hill to not get shot, moved them away to not get irresistible charge. I chaff as well the remaining Kingsguard with the Orcs. Here decided to charge my big block. I don't know why, I have Battle Focus, Spears, Horde Formation, Flaming Banner who tricks with Alchemy, so feeling really confident. And yeah, that's more or less it. I mean, he will kill the chaff, here I will kill him, he will make my Orc Slave flee, but I will rally, and then after I guess I will charge with the tank and he will flee with them. He will turn around with the king, but I will be able to move out of arc with them, BSB as well. And I took a last charge with them against the shooter, a 7 Swift Stride, but I fail it, so just move a bit forward. He shoot at me, but wasn't able to kill a model and make me panic. So yeah, that's it more or less. Here you have a couple of final picture of what I'm saying. Okay, so finally it's an 18-2. Got the scenario, obviously, and killed a lot of units, and it only took from me the light cavalry. So 18-2. So yeah, what can I say? I was able really to profit from starting the game, gaining all the cover, deal with the organ gun as soon as possible, killing him turn 2, that helped me immensely. And I think once I killed the Seeker, I was really totally in control. We saw before he was moving forward, but still with the low movement, he has no chance to really reach anything. I can always flee. So I think it was really too complicated for him after the start of the game. My range damage worked really well. At the same time, I was able to use the train to avoid, to give as much cover as possible, and was able to save the tank and Kalim Titan, which is good. And then, yeah, I could have charged the Death Star, as I've told you, but I still think it's a bit dicey. I guess all the Anointing strike before the Kingsguard and should be able maybe to delete them. Maybe, but you never know. He's still bodyguard and so on. You never know what can happen. I don't like to... I think it was... The risk-reward ratio was not good enough to take it. Since I was able to move out of arc, no point to take it. So that's it. Yeah, I guess my opponent, a couple of words about what he did. I guess deployment, I told you already, but I guess he was never in position to really protect his scoring unit. He gave me the scenario, basically. I guess it was possible to do something a bit more interesting to really protect himself by using his main block. He didn't really realize that I can do so much with my shooting and range damage against Seeker. I guess he should have used at least the forest, something to protect himself. And maybe since we are playing flag and he's really good from range, why not corner more or less in the beginning of the right forest? If you take this part of the board, then you're sure that you have light cover, you can shoot quite far away with organ gun and so on. Since it's flag, why not? Why come on the hill, really? What is the purpose of that? I would have maybe do something much more compact on the right part of the board and make me come to him slowly and take time, and maybe this would have been a much better way maybe to use the big block in the front to protect his scoring unit, basically, to make sure that I cannot reach any scoring unit. Would have been an idea, I guess, if you wanted really to play. Since it's capture the flag, board control doesn't mean anything, so I'm not sure this approach of the game was really the good idea. And we saw that it was really too complicated, but because yeah, even with the 2 block, if you move forward, I can just move around, chaff with the mobility advantage that I have. This might be way too difficult for him to go into any interesting combat, I guess. So yeah, that was it. Thanks for watching this second game, and talk to you soon for the third and last one. Ciao.